Okay. So here's our loan formula. Okay, here's our loan formula, okay? And again, it's the exact same formula for payout annuity. I know the book explains why it is, okay? But I'll let you read that on your own. But you know, this is our loan formula, you know, as a reminder, P0, right? That's the balance now at the beginning, you know, the principals it's called, okay? PMTs are monthly, how do we say, payments that we're doing at regular intervals. So for instance, it could be the monthly payment if we're making payments monthly. It's the annual payment if we're making yearly payments, okay? And so on and so forth. R is the APR, the interest rate, the annual interest rate, that is. N is how many compounding periods there are in a year. And T is how many years this is going on. You know, how the length of time in years, in other words. And I said this before, but again, if the compounding frequency is not stated explicitly, we assume that the frequency at which the account is compounded is the same as the frequency payments are made. In other words, if you're making monthly payments, it's compounded monthly. You know, if you're making annual payments, it's compounded annually, which basically means once a year. And if somehow you're making daily payments, it'd be compounded daily, you know, and so on. Okay. So that's what we have here. I mean, what's nice is you don't have to memorize the formula. It's in the book. I put it in the notes. Also, we have the, what do you call it, that TVM Solver. So I guess in a sense, we don't have to memorize the formula because of that, but that's okay. So when you use it again, if you have a loan and you're making many payments, when you have a loan, you know, annuity, many deposits, payout annuity, many withdrawals, and for a loan, many payments. That's what happens here. Good. Okay, so we have that. Again, we're doing this on a regular schedule. So, all right. So that's good. Let's do our first example here. So let's say you want to take out $140,000 mortgage. A mortgage is really just a loan that you get from a bank, let's say, to buy a house. Okay, that's just to know what a mortgage is. And it turns out the interest rate here, I mean annual interest rate, is 6%. And the loan is supposed to be 30 years long. It's going to last for 30 years. Okay? That's what it's going to last for. The question is, how much are our monthly payments going to be? Okay, so we can use our formula. Then after this, we'll solve it using the TVM solver. But let's solve it using the formula. I mean, the formulas aren't that terrible. But anyway, so the starting amount, excuse me, of the loan is $140,000. Okay? We're looking for the monthly payment. So our PMT, that's unknown to us. We don't know what that is. Our R, right, our interest rate as a excuse me, I was yawning. Our interest rate as a decimal is 0.06. Okay. Okay, you know, you just convert it to a decimal by moving the decimal 2 spaces to the left. N is 12, right? You know, it's compounded as often as we make payments. We're making monthly payments, compounded monthly, N is 12. And it goes on for 30 years, so T is 30. So here's what we do. Here's our formula. Now, We want PMT, that's our unknown. So I didn't show all the steps. Hopefully it's not that bad though. I mean, essentially what you're going to do is this. You're going to multiply both sides by that denominator, which is 0.06 over 12. Let me see if I can draw it in at least. Like so. As you can see, like this wonderful thing, right? We're going to multiply both sides by that. Okay. Okay, because again, the PMT is what we want. And by multiplying both sides by this part is gone. And now what's left over is the numerator here. So we divide both sides by what's in these parentheses, as you can see. Doing that, we get PMT all alone on the right side, and we got everything else here. Well, now I moved it over to the left, as you can see. Okay. Oh. And so, you know, now you could do this in your calculator, although it might be kind of a pain, but you can also do this in Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. Right? Basically, you put the numerator in a cell, the denominator in a cell, and then you could just divide. You know, if you want to look, if you don't know how to do that, you can always be happy to help you with it. But basically, the monthly payment you get is $839.37. That's what ends up happening. Okay, now here what I actually did was I rounded to 2 decimal places. Now, after rounding, I got this amount. The book does mention this. I mean, for me personally, I'm not going to care about this part so much, but the book would say always round up. You know, I know there are certain rules. I think if the last digit is 4 or less, then you round down, and if it's 5 or more, you round up. The book says that you always round up with monthly payments, but I'm not going to get crazy like that, okay? So if you gave me 839.37, that would be fine. I mean, for me personally, as long as you could do the calculation here, you know, to me, that's what matters most. Okay. I mean, I don't remember what the digit after 7 actually is, but the book would say, oh, no, round up no matter what. But what I'm saying is you don't have to worry about that. I don't think that will come up on the homework. I mean, it definitely will come up on the homework posted now. So, all right. Anyway, so that's what we get here. That's our monthly payment. All right, that wasn't so bad. You know, we had the formula. But now what I'm gonna show you is how to solve it using this TVM solver. Okay? So it's the same problem, you know. The notation for TVM solver I did go over last time, so I'm not going to go through that too much again. PV, remember, that's just the same as present value, which is P0, which is the starting amount, which in this case is $140,000. You know, that's the loan. And remember, the values could be positive or negative. So for us, this is positive because we're getting that amount. You know, we're getting that money to buy a home. PMT is unknown, okay? Now TVM, the APR, the interest rate, we leave it as a percent. You don't convert it to a decimal. You just take away the percent sign. Capital N is N times T, which is 12 times 30 in this case. We want to pay off the entire loan, okay? So that's why FB is 0. That's the future value of the loan in this case. but we want that to be 0. We want to pay off the entire loan. And P over Y, I think that's payments per year. C over Y is how often it's compounded per year. These two are always the same. I mean, in this case, it's 12 because it's a monthly payment, but they're always equal to each other. So let me go to the TVM Solver. Okay. Let me just quickly go to that. So I got to stop sharing this, but don't worry, I'll put it back. I just want to get to the TVM Solver. Chrome tab, there it is. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can see it. Okay, so let me put it in. So capital N, we said, was 12 times 30, which, of course, is 360. The interest rate is 6%. PV, we said, was 140,000. PMT we're looking for. FV we leave at 0 because we're paying off the loan. P over Y, this thing is 12. Same thing with C over Y. Okay, again, this is how often it's compounded in a year. These two are the same. So this is 12. We want PMT, right? That's what we're solving for. Okay, we want PMT, so we click on solve for PMT, and we get this. Negative 839.37. So that's what we get, negative 839.37. Now it's negative, again, that is expected to happen because that money is coming away from us. It's leaving us. It's negative. All right, so let me go back to the notes. Okay, so we get the same monthly payment. All right, let me just stop the recording. I'll restart it.